When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by.
Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to work.
Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today someone makes a prediction of how the next phases of the Israeli and U.S. and their war against Iran. But before I get started, check this out. Look at this shit. I'll full screen it too. Here you go.
The 3 U.S. warships that are being sent to Venezuela, and there's 4,000 Marines on board. Are you looking at the possibility of boots on the ground there?
What I will say with respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country. And with that, I will leave you all, and we will see you later, if not tomorrow.
What type of fucking psycho has a smile on their face after saying that shit? What the fuck? Who is this fucking demon woman? What the freak, bro? But anyways, the prospect of putting boots on the ground in Venezuela because the leader's a big-time drug dealer, and his excuses to combat drugs entering the U.S. is... All right, Trump fans. Alex Jones defenders. Let's see if Alex even covers this, or if he does, what is he actually going to say about it? Would Alex actually be like, wait a minute, that sounds like propaganda, and you're using your propagandistic ideas as an excuse to do military action against a foreign country? Yes, that'd be correct, Alex. Fuck it. Oh, fuck. They could just make shit up willy-nilly, can't they? They could just be like, well, he's a drug dealer. Just make it up and just say it. And then run with it. And it works on some people. Like, if the world was anywhere near a healthy place, as soon as anyone saw this on Fox News, they might put a hole through the fucking TV. Like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? Or call up the fucking, like, hey, trying to call the White House. These guys, like, what are you guys doing? You're gonna do what? Where? You said no more wars, though. Like, you're trying not to do that. It's beyond crazy. Like, to see the question again, by the way, U.S. warships are being sent to Venezuela. There's 4,000 Marines on board. Are you looking at boots on the ground there? He's like, well, we'll use anything by any means necessary. We're going to try to make the world a worse place, everybody. And that's not me even defending Maduro. I don't know enough about him, but every fucking nerve in my body says, if Maduro was a really bad guy, is this how you handle it? My whole body says, fuck no. But of course, these guys float the idea out there. His fans will defend it, say he's playing 5D chess to make a deal with them or something, even though he was trying to overthrow them in his first administration. Now he's just more brazen, and he's like, fuck, let's just send our own troops over there. Let's do that. And yes, there was an attempt at a coup with American soldiers. They weren't. I guess they were. What's the word? They were done with their duty. Like these are like ex Green Berets, ex Special Forces that went down on behalf of the Kraft Mac and Cheese Company. They went down into Venezuela to help overthrow the fucking government. So another thing, or this is another thing where the first administration looks exactly like the second administration. The same ideas are there. The same actions are there. Maybe he was setting the plate more so in his first administration, but now he's trying to execute the plans. And this will lead right into the story about Iran, the potential Israeli and U.S. war on Iran. See, people think the war is like, oh, he bombed them once and the war's over. Like, no. It's marketing, you stupid, you dummies. He knows you guys don't want that. So thus he dresses it up, puts puts makeup on it and says, look, you're winning, aren't you? This is what you voted for, isn't it? Right, guys? Just wait and see, guys. Wait and fucking see. Before I get started, don't forget to check out all the links in the description box, including that Discord one. Check them all out. If you want to donate to a charity, there's all these links of different causes in the description box. Please, check it out. Okay, yeah, you guys fucking wait. If this shit kicks off and starts rolling forward, I mean, it's already kicked off and rolled forward. I'm just saying, like, where it, like, becomes overt and obvious to the mass population. As I predicted before, I'm like, this guy might go down as the worst president of all time. And not by my standards. I think they're all equally bad. I'm saying by the public standards. Like, you thought George W. Bush was being shunned, or Joe Biden was being shunned. This will take on a whole different form if he continues on with these foreign policy things. Because there's a lot more people, a lot more attentive about it. It could be for stupid reasons, right? Some of these guys are like, it's Israel, everything. Israel's doing all the problems in the world. It's Israel, Israel, Israel. There's a little bit of accuracy to that, but for the most part, these sound like just dummies on the internet. But since these guys care so much about Israel and what they're doing with their foreign policy, they obviously attach it to the U.S., which means they will be paying attention to every little event that happens in foreign policy. Except for Venezuela, probably. They probably won't know about that one. Let's just be honest. So, which means people will have eyes on it. It won't be just some quiet war thing like what Trump did in his first administration, right? Where he did all the same military war actions, killing civilians in mass and invading countries. He did all that shit. They didn't notice that for some reason. But now, since we're in this new lexicon of ideas floating out there, people will pay attention. Hopefully, and most likely. But, alright, whatever. I'm done rambling. It's kind of my warm-up video. You know what I'm saying? Either way, here we go. I don't know this gentleman, Trita Parsi. I guess he works, either he's speaking it. No, yeah, okay. Executive Vice President at the Quincy Institute. Okay. So I can't vouch for him, but I'm here to hear the ideas. I want to hear what he has to say about, like, they're going to go to war in the coming weeks and months, according to this guy. And I want to hear his reasoning, and I want you to hear it too. So without further ado, here we go. Here's Trita Parsi. Here we go.
There's a significant risk that Israel will restart the war with Iran in the next couple of weeks or months. And the United States risks getting dragged into that war once again. The Israelis had three objectives with their war. The first one, get the United States and Iran into a direct confrontation. They had tried to do that for more than 20 years. For the first time, they succeeded.
Now that is an important point. See, people think the shit kicked off when Israel dropped the first bomb. Like, no. Even before the thing he's saying right now, these things were all in the works. The pulling out of the nuclear deal, the sanctions, the war in Syria, the war in Lebanon, the war, like, bombing Somalia, Yemen, Israel, Gaza, all those different parts. Like, if you have, a a decent enough vista, right? A good angle, a good line of sight on the topic, you'll see that they were building this for years and years and years. Before Trump, during Trump, after Trump, back to Trump again. It's been all building up. And if you think that that bomb that the U.S. dropped on the supposed nuclear sites, if you think that's just one and done in the marketing of just it's only 12 days. It was a 12-day war. I'm gonna call it a 12-day war. That's what Trump said, remember? It's a 12-day war. That's what I'm gonna call it. To make you think it's only 12 days. Like, nah. This started many decades before that, before the 12 days, and it's continuing on after that. There was no peace agreement signed. There was no ceasefire signed. There was no statements of negotiation and policy that was actually built out and showcased to the public. That didn't happen, which means it never really ended. I mean, in the middle of, let's say, World War II, right? One of the biggest wars ever, right? They had days where they weren't shooting guns at each other. Was the war over on those days? No. It wasn't. Even when the U.S. won, right, where they stopped for a bit to try to negotiate with Japan and drop the bomb on them anyways, right? But during those negotiations, that didn't mean the war is like over. There was nothing signed, nothing agreed to. I'm just saying. But anyways, let's continue. So they got phase 1 done, which is to create the atmosphere to directly hit them. Let's see what phase 2 and 3 are. Here we go.
But the two other objectives were not achieved. They were trying to decapitate the Iranian regime, and though they had some significant successes in the first 24 hours, they never managed to disrupt the Iranian command and control. And instead, the Iranians started to fire back with missiles penetrating Israel's layers of air defenses. The third objective, which is probably the most important one, is to reduce Iran into another Syria or Lebanon, a country that Israel can bomb at will with impunity without U.S. involvement.
And my little theory about that was kind of the Syrian style, which is you'd pay rebels or whoever to go in there with weaponry, you give them weapons too, and you let them try to overthrow it themselves. Right? That was actually Trump's thing with Venezuela as well. But and any other administrations have done the same thing with Venezuela. But with Syria, we saw that like almost like a direct line of actions, right? Where they first set the precedent to paying these so-called rebel groups, which were actually just Al Qaeda and ISIS fighters and shit like that, right? Obama starts that. Trump continues it. Biden continues it. Syria falls. Al Qaeda now runs Syria. They might try the same exact strategy with Iran. That was my little guess because the overt, let's invade with our U.S. military personnel or Israeli personnel, while the government's still like actually there and active and not destroyed yet. Yeah, you're gonna piss a lot of people off with that. So why not just do it in a covert way, which is pay these rebel guys, call them good guys, give them bombs and weapons and money and all that shit, and let them do it for you. This way, the American public or the Israeli population won't be crying that their countries are at war, even though they would be at war with those actions. Right? It's still murder because you're hiring a hitman to do it. Right? You're still on the line for murder when you pay someone the money. So, but here we go. Let's continue. Fuck.
Can bomb at will with impunity without U.S. involvement. This required not just air superiority, but to really degrade all levels of Iranian deterrence and then make sure that Israel continues to what they call mow the grass every couple of weeks or so to make sure that the Iranians can never rebuild any capacity to pose a challenge or a deterrence against Israel.
And be honest, Syria falling has a big deal to do with that. Also, if they can defang Hezbollah in Lebanon, right? If the government forces them to drop their weaponry and kind of leave them kind of militarily useless, once again, more free airspace to fly over and just attack Iran. You have places to refuel, places to set up shop if you had, I don't think they would set up shop there, but the airspace is free. In Syria, the airspace is fucking free. All right, and then you have, on top of that, Trump getting his ISIS guy as the president of Syria. I mean, now the U.S. has a stranglehold on the government over there. Although they look like they'll be warring and some more, they'll still be fighting, but they'll have the favor of the U.S. The guy took off sanctions. And then in that same bill that people were complaining about, AOC, I guess, voting against Marjorie Taylor Greene's amendment to not fund Israel. Within the actual original bill, I believe there was up to $300 million, maybe $500 million to Syria and another country. I forgot which one. But Syria was a part of that. So they're not just taking off sanctions, they're actually giving money to Syria, to the new Al-Qaeda Syrian government. So, yeah, Syria's free. And that was a big deal needed just for Israel to bomb Iran in the first place. So, yeah, I think those things had to happen first. And then you can willy-nilly bomb Iran with, airplanes and shit like that without any pushback. Well, you'll have pushback, but not on your way there, though. You'll be fine on your way, and you can refuel over their countries, as I said. All right, let's continue.
Rebuild any capacity to pose a challenge or a deterrence against Israel. But having started the war, the Israelis now feel the pressure that they have to continue it. They cannot allow the Iranians the time to be able to rebuild their air defenses or to buy new and better ones. So there's a high likelihood that there will be a war. And I think they are concerned that if they wait till after December, not only will they have given the Iranians too much time, it will also enter America's midterm election season, which doesn't prevent it from happening, but it makes it much more complicated. If you're sitting in the United
Good point. So far, I like this analysis. That's a great point. I just wanted to add in also that I did a video where Netanyahu is saying, "Oh, Iranians, I love you so much. You guys are having a water problem, aren't you? You guys like water." It's actually kind of when you actually look at it, it's kind of like a very cunt move if you look at it closely, because he's pouring a glass of water and drinking it. All right? You're like, "Oh, you guys need this, don't you? If you just overthrow your own government, we'll help you out. We'll do water shit for you. We'll bring you water. Nice, clean water." And he's dangling survival in front of that was a message for the people of Iran, although I don't think they're going to really hear it or care to hear it. Let's be honest. It's more for other groups and Americans. Let's be honest. All right? It's for us to see. Most likely, because they're trying to propagandize more so than their own fucking people in their country. They want to propagandize us to get us drummed up and ready to go to war with Israel against Iran. And also, obviously, a wink and a nod at any potential rebel groups that it creates puts it into the fucking lexicon, right? Now it's a possibility that, when you see some guy who's not even from Iran pop up and start shooting guns at the fucking government or shooting rockets or missiles, they'll be like, "Oh, they're doing that because they don't have water, and the government treats them bad. Oh, it makes sense now." Meanwhile, that's just a part of the kind of quote unquote script to get you to believe in what you're seeing with your eyes. But it could be bullshit. Not saying it is, but it could be. Anyways, let's continue.
which doesn't prevent it from happening, but it makes it much more complicated. If you're sitting in the United States, this is what's important to understand. The U.S. is very likely to get dragged into the next war, but it's not going to be like last time. Just a one-off, a bombing campaign, and it's over. The Iranians are going to do everything they can to dispel the Israelis from the belief that Iran can be subjugated to Israeli military dominance. So they will strike back much harder, faster than they did last time. The Iranians have shown that their missile capabilities are far more extensive than was earlier believed, and that US and Israeli air defense systems are not sufficient to be able to stop all of them. And this also means that the Iranians may this time around strike at US bases in a manner that they didn't last time. Last time, as one Pentagon official said, it was a polite response because it was all about ending the war. This
Yeah, that's bad news. And to be honest, yeah, a lot of people were worried about that. After the U.S. bombed them, that they were going to see like harsh retaliatory actions, right, at army bases that are close enough to get shit on by Iran with missiles that, yeah, like you said, I don't think people realize that they had. So, I mean, I saw their little music videos of them showcasing. Look at we got these mountains. We got fucking missiles stockpiled down there, bro. We carved out, we hauled out a mountain to build missiles in it. All right, and I was like, I mean, it could be propaganda. I don't know. Maybe they do have that capability, and I think they showcase they have some shit on them that could fuck people up. And if you back someone against the wall, bro, and they feel like they got no choice, and they're willing to bomb, guess what? The U.S. could get hit too, for sure. But once again, I think they might go the rebel route. And then once the chaos ensues from rebels invading and fucking warring and destabilizing the country, that's when other countries that want to fuck up the Iranian government come in over the top with their airplanes and drop bombs and all that shit. Drop bombs and just fly away. Drop bombs, fly away. They just do it on repeat till the rebels finally win. Then you take all the sanctions off of Iran, shake hands, destroy their nuclear sites and facilities, and say, look, we won. The good guys won. Meanwhile, he's shaking hands with some sort of ISIS leader. That is a playbook, and I'm considering that playbook happening here. But, all right, here we go.
time around, it's likely going to be much worse. It's not going to be about ending the war. It's going to be about winning the war. And we know now that the Iranians have missile capabilities that can penetrate all layers of Israeli and American air defense systems and can lead to a large number of American deaths. So we will.
So I'll play it again, but let's put that in active here. You got to remember like Israel is using their Iron Dome. I think is our fucking created thing, right? I think we gave that to them. I'm pretty sure, and funded it, obviously. And like, if that's the case, Iranian missiles were just going through that bitch. Not every time, but a lot of times. And I think it overwhelmed it to a point where they had a decent amount of malfunctions. So, if Israel has like one of our air defense systems called the Iron Dome, and we have like maybe like smaller versions of air defense missiles on our army bases around the Middle East, it's like, theoretically speaking, like Iranian missiles can probably get through those too. I'm just saying. In fact, before they struck Iran, before the U.S. struck, it's so clumsy too. Before they struck Iran, the U.S. pulled some missile defense systems from Ukraine and brought it over to some of their army bases because they want to be protected in case, right? But meanwhile, they knew they were going to strike them, right? They knew they were going to strike them, so they wanted extra padding of defense. And then, yeah, Iran did throw like they missile struck, I guess, an army base, but like didn't make it a U.S. army base, I'm saying. But they didn't, like, they gave, like, I guess, ample time of a heads up and made sure not to just destroy everything. Like, it was kind of like a pageantry to say, like, see, we, like, okay, guys, we're going to, like, kind of miss on purpose. And just like the Soleimani missiles when they retaliated after that. Another, like, pageantry to showcase, like, yeah, we'll fire shit at you and say hoorah to the fucking crowd. But meanwhile, it was just for PR, essentially. And then things stopped after that. But, all right, let's continue. Here we go.
Around, it's likely going to be much worse. It's not going to be about ending the war. It's going to be about winning the war. And we know now that the Iranians have missile capabilities that can penetrate all layers of Israeli and American air defense systems and can lead to a large number of American deaths. So we will once again have Americans coming home from the Middle East in coffins. It does not lie in the interest of the United States to get dragged into yet another disastrous war in the Middle East.
Now, a lot of people are using that word dragged. I don't agree with it. Trump is a part of the criminal fucking organization doing these things. He's not a sideline guy that got called in by the coach. He's one of the coaches. Like, people need to get that through their fucking brains. Trump said it in the fucking interview. Once again, you don't have to believe him just because he said it out loud, but I'm saying, like, I believe him when he says this, when he says, I won't be dragged into the war. I'll be leading the charge. Now, he won't be leading the charge, but it'll be a team duo fucking thing, right? It'll be the U.S. and Israel, both of their administrations working together to obviously cause harm in the world with people they don't like, right? So it's be careful with that word dragged. I'd say that with anyone. I don't think he's some guy like, wait a minute, I don't want to go to war. I don't like war. Then send Marines to go, threaten Venezuela, right? I don't like war, though. I don't like it. Bomb Somalia. He's going to break his own record for bombing Somalia. I don't like war. What was it? 250 plus civilians killed in Yemen in that short span he was bombing them? I hate war. I don't like it. Keeps giving weaponry and funding to fucking Ukraine through NATO. And through European countries as well. I don't like war. I don't like it. It's icky. It's disgusting. It's bullshit. A fool is not being dragged. He's just like, he's either saying, yes, boss, let's fucking do this. That's not being dragged. That's being an apathetic fuckface, facade of what the nation is or what the, leader of the free world is supposed to be. Like, he's just a facade for that. Or he's just like, yeah, we're all teammates. We're doing this. But there is no dragging happening. He's either with it or he's with it, in my humble opinion. But here we go.
States to get dragged into yet another disastrous war in the Middle East. Trump promised that there would be no new wars. Trump promised to bring troops home from the Middle East. This is going in the opposite direction. To be able to achieve and fulfill his promises, he needs.
Sorry to, I don't know why people are, appealing to his narcissism or something like that. Like, that's fucking working at all. I don't know why people do that. But either way. I don't, I don't get it. Let's say they don't go to war with Iran. Let's say the U.S. is like, all right, we signed an absolute peace deal with Iran. Let's say that happened. Guess what? There's still bombings and killings happening all over the fucking place. In Africa, in the Middle East, in South America, in Eastern Europe. There's still shit happening all over the fucking place. So him not going to war with Iran, all of a sudden, oh, he really does like peace. No, it doesn't mean that. Here we go. Going in the opposite direction. If he doesn't go to war with Iran, he's still going in that opposite direction of no new wars. Come on, guys. I don't know why we're trying to appeal to maybe if we're nice enough to him, he'll fucking change his ways. I don't fucking think so. There's no evidence of that. Not even a fucking shred of evidence of that. Here we go. Yeah, where's those Epstein files at, guys? That you guys we've been begging and begging and begging. He'll do it. Where are they at? Where'd the investigation go? Wasn't everyone asking for that? Did he budge on it? Did he make a fucking thing for you guys? No. But I guess we'll see what happens, right? 5D chess, here we go.
That there would be no new wars. Trump promised to bring troops home from the Middle East. This is going in the opposite direction. To be able to achieve and fulfill his promises, he needs to negotiate a deal, and that was moving forward until the Israelis bombed the negotiating table. There are spaces for compromise on this issue. It should be pursued because it lies in the U.S.'s interest, not just because it avoids this war, but because it helps Donald Trump fulfill the promise of actually getting U.S. troops out of the Middle East and back home.
He doesn't care about this promise.
Pursues capitulation of the other side. The American side demanding zero enrichment, or the Iranians demanding something completely unachievable. There will not be a deal. There will be a confrontation. It's the...
Okay. I agree with him on that. Well, what Iran's demanding is not completely unachievable. Well, it is in the sense that the U.S. won't allow them to enrich at any level, right? So it's unachievable by those standards. But if someone was like, all right, listen, we'll make a deal where you can enrich at low percentages, I think Iran would take that deal. So I don't think it's even in their, like, and they had that deal happening beforehand. Like, it already existed in reality. Donald Trump walked away from that deal. And thus, it led to where we saw the bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities. So I'm not even putting this on Iran of something being unachievable. It's the devil worshippers in the U.S. that are doing a lot of this stuff, and Israel as well. Let's just be honest. Here we go.
Completely unachievable. There will not be a deal.
Pseudo-negotiation.
There will be a confrontation. It's the fastest track towards actually getting to war.
Okay. I mean, pretty just simple, concise. I think pretty accurate video with the stuff that we do know. Now, as far as his prediction, which is the main point of me covering this video, it makes sense. It makes sense. I did not for 1 second think after that quote-unquote 12-day war and after that bombing by the U.S., right, after they bombed Iran, there was no sense in my mind like, oh, yeah, it's over now. All right, guys, let's focus on something else. No, no, no. I see just delayed, and then delayed. And then when the time is ripe, that's when you go for it. That's what I suspect is going to happen. Now, it could come in the form of, I doubt it comes in the form of all-out war, right? Where, like, no one wants to invade that country. Like, considering the terrain and then the weapons capabilities that we saw them kind of showcase when they were fighting against Israel. I don't think either Israel or U.S. want to do, like, some type of ground war. So they're more likely to get mercenaries to do it for them. I'm sure some of them will be Iranian, a lot will not be, and then have those guys run over the country. Let's just be honest. I mean, I mentioned earlier about Yemen, right? 250 innocent people killed by the Trump administration when they bombed Yemen, right? Oh, bragged about it too. Bragged about it. Openly bragged about killing civilians. With a little video on fucking Twitter or whatever. Yeah, but they couldn't just knock them over, right? Yemen's still out there firing missiles, fucking ships up. They're still out there doing that shit. Which means, with all the air offense capabilities that the U.S. has, it didn't stop little old fucking Yemen, the little Houthis over there. And one of the ideas that was actually brought up around the time those things were happening was, okay, the only way to take out the Houthis is actually ground forces. What you can do is you can fund some people, maybe Qatar could throw some money in, maybe, who knows? Maybe Saudi Arabia could throw some money in, who knows? And you let those guys do it for you. Let them be your ground military while you attack from the air, if they wanted to actually get rid of the Houthis. I think they're a little bit more I think the bigger goal was definitely Iran, right? And they can just use the same tactics there. Use your resources on Iran and overthrowing their government. And once those guys fall, then it's just Yemen's gonna be like, yo, they're all looking at us right now. What the fuck? And then that's when they know something bad's gonna happen. But it wouldn't be obviously over. It'd be years and years. It would take place after the Trump administration, obviously, right? Let's say they got it started in this administration by Trump, right? They somehow got some rebel groups to get in there, and let's say the quote unquote civil war kicked off in Iran, right? That's not going to take like a couple days or something or weeks. It's going to take years. Like, Iran's pretty formidable as far as I've seen from the information. So thus, that would take years and years to actually achieve the goal of overthrowing the government. And you watch for it. If this happens during the Trump administration, you watch for, let's say, some Democratic person comes into office after Trump, right? Someone from the Democrat side. Watch the fucking thing continue. Sit back and watch it. Watch the funding continue. Watch the warring continue. Watch the shipment of weapons to these guys continue. And someone's going to tell me, well, it was a lesser evil. Oh, it's a lesser evil because the Democrats aren't bragging about how they're fucking up Iran. That means they're lesser evil. They're more polite when they do devil worshipping type policy. Okay. But hey, I'm just some guy out here guessing. I have no idea. I truly have no idea. I'm just throwing out some ideas and possibilities. But either way, informative video, interesting idea of how this war could kick off, and good reasoning around it. That makes sense to me. So kudos to this guy, and I guess the Quincy Institute and all that shit. But there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Is this going to happen? Will the U.S. and Israel go to war with Iran like for my world officially, but through any tactic? Are they going to actually make the hard push to overthrow the Iranian government? What do you think? Or do you think it's all over? You can have that idea too, right? We're at where we're at right now. We don't know that we can't know the future, so throw out the idea if you think, it's just not going to happen, right? Please do so in the comment section. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in that description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. Also, check out the Discord link if you want to join up the Discord. You can talk and play and frolic, play in the flowers. Wee. All links in the description box. And with all that said, please give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.